Hey everybody, thanks for joining us this morning on our webinar, and hope everybody's doing well and staying safe and is healthy and doing okay in this crazy world. Today's topic, we're going to talk about some of the steps that we need to take after we've created your estate planning documents. So a lot of times what happens is we create your estate planning binder, like the one that's behind me over my shoulder here. And we have all of your legal documents in that wonderful, beautiful binder. But then you don't take the remaining steps that are necessary to make sure that everything in that binder is going to work how it should work or how we want it to work when you become incapacitated and or pass away. And so we're just going to talk about a few things today that might help you as far as making sure that you're organized, making sure that those that are going to be taking care of your estate when you do become incapacitated or die, they know what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it, and the steps you can take today to make sure that they're as prepared as possible to take over for you if something happens to you. Before I jump into that, though, I just want to cover, since this is our first webinar since the new year, I just want to cover a couple of changes that you might be aware of or you might not be aware of. Number one is the federal estate tax exemption amount has increased as of January 1st of 2022. It went from a little over $11 million to now over $12 million per person. So as long as your estate is less than $12 million, then there's no federal estate tax that's going to be owed. And the annual gift tax exclusion amount has increased as well. It went from $15,000 to $16,000 per person. So if you're married, you can give now $32,000, $16,000 from you and $16,000 from your spouse. And there's no gift tax issue there. So that increased by $1,000 per person as of the first of the year. So those are just a couple of things to keep your eye on and to know about, I guess. As far as the Build Back Better America plan, really not sure if that piece of legislation is going to get passed. In my opinion, I don't think it will get passed. There's been lots of different iterations of that bill and different things that they wanted to do with it as far as changing a lot of tax laws. But as of right now, I really don't see that happening. So I think for 2022, unless something drastic happens, we're probably going to stay put as far as all the current taxes, except for those two changes I just mentioned. So hopefully that helps you out for 2022 with some of the changes that have happened. Now, as far as now that you have your legal documents in place, you have your trust, you have your wills, you have your powers of attorney, you have your healthcare documents, you've executed everything, you've put it all in place, what's kind of the next step? Really, the next step is to make sure that the people that you've nominated to serve in the different capacities, either the trustee of your trust, the executor of your will, your healthcare agent that's going to make all of your medical decisions, or your financial power of attorney person that's going to make all your financial decisions if you're incapacitated. Have you sat down with them and had a discussion with them about your estate plan? Have you talked to them about, where is the estate plan kept? Where do you keep your binder? Is it in the fireproof safe in the house? If so, how do we gain access to it? Is it in the safety deposit box at the bank? If so, which bank is it at? How do we gain access to it? So number one is make sure that those that you've nominated to serve and take over things if you become incapacitated or die, know where to find your legal documents. Always know that our law firm has a digital copy of that entire book that we keep forever. So we always have a digital copy, but we don't have any of your original signed documents. All of our copies are digital. You have the one and only set of original documents. And so it's important that your trustee, your healthcare agents know where to find those documents in the event that they need to make decisions and take care of things. So number one, let them know where to find it. Number two, and we always do this for our clients, if you want to bring in your successor trustee to our office at some point in time. I know a lot of you, your kids are out of town and live in other states, but during the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whenever, if they decide to come out for a spring training game here coming up, if you want to schedule an appointment to bring your kids in so we can just review the binder with them, explain to them, hey, here are the steps you need to take when mom and dad become incapacitated or die, we're happy to do that. The more we can share with them kind of the things that they need to be prepared for and the things that they're going to be needing to do should you become incapacitated or die, the better off you are and the more educated your trustee is, and they just understand what their role is going to be and what they're going to have to do. So we're happy to do that and offer that as a free consultation for all of our clients. So number one, let them know, your trustee and whatnot, where to find the binder. Number two, if you want to schedule an appointment to have them come in and meet with us, we're happy to do that and go through the binder. The other thing that we recommend that you do is have a candid conversation with them about, what are your wishes if you are admitted to the hospital? Do you want to be hooked up on a ventilator? Do you not want to be hooked up on a ventilator? It's important to have these candid conversations ahead of time so that if that event does occur, we get COVID or something like that, and they're in the hospital and the doctors are saying, well, we're going to have to hook dad or mom up to a ventilator. Do you want to do that? You've already had that conversation ahead of time. End of life decisions. I don't want to be kept on life support. I do want to be kept on life support. I want to be kept comfortable. I don't want cardiopulmonary resuscitation. I don't want artificially administered food and fluids, or you do want those things. Whatever it is your wishes are, it'd be important to have a conversation with your healthcare agent so they understand what your wishes are and what you want, what you don't want in regards to those things. Also important to have conversations about your funeral arrangements. Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried? What kind of a service do you want? Who are the pallbearers? Who do you want speaking at the service? If you are going to be cremated, what happens with your ashes? Where do you want your ashes put? All things that you just want to have a conversation with your loved ones about, who are going to be taking care of these things after you pass away. In addition to that, if you haven't done so already, I recommend that you make a list of all of the bank accounts, the asset information that your loved ones are going to have to gain control of if you should become incapacitated or when you do die. The first question that any attorney is going to ask when you do pass away is, what are the assets? How are those assets titled? Well, if you've already, every year you've kept that list up to date, you have all you have to do is take a legal pad, if you want to do it that way, and make 3 columns on the legal pad and write down each asset, how that asset is titled, and the account number that goes with that asset. That's going to make a world of difference as far as your trustee goes if you have that information ahead of time and you've kept that information up to date. Sometimes we move bank accounts around, we close accounts, we open up new accounts, we change financial advisors. So it's important that you keep that list up to date as things change. And that way, when you do pass away, it's easy for your trustee to gain control of the accounts and know what the assets are and who they have to get in touch with. So I would make sure that is part of your estate planning binder. Just if you want to do, like I say, just take a legal pad and write it down. If you want to do an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document, however you want to do it, just make sure that you keep a copy of it in your binder for your trustee to have. The other thing would be all the people that will have to be contacted when you pass away. Make sure that list of important people is inside your binder. There's actually a homework sheet inside your binder that we gave you that says important people that have to be contacted. That's your CPA, your financial advisor, your attorney, your insurance agent, the funeral director. So these are all important people that it'd be good to have a list of and their contact information so that your loved ones know, okay, I know Dave Eastman is the estate planning attorney. Here's his contact information. CPA is John Smith. Here's his contact information. It just makes it a lot easier to administer things if you have those people and their contact information already listed somewhere. The other thing I recommend that you do is make a list of all of the monthly bills or expenses that you have. So if you're paying for AT&T for your cell phone, you got Cox Cable for your cable bill, who's your utilities through, who's your insurance through, your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, who are the credit card companies that are going to have to be gotten in touch with when you pass away. Do you have any prescription drugs? Do you have any subscriptions to magazines or other monthly dues that you pay for? Do you have LifeLock or something like that for regarding your credit that you pay a monthly fee for? All those things would be important to have, so we can shut those down, close those down, contact them, and just make it easy to deal with when you pass away. In addition to any income that you have coming into your account every month, Social Security, if you have a pension that comes in every single month, who's that with? How do we get in touch with them? Just once again, you're trying to make life as easy as possible for your trustee to administer things when you pass away. So make a list of all those things. It'll make things a lot easier for them. Those are kind of the main things to do and make people aware of. The more organized you are right now, the easier it is for them on the back end. So let them know where to find the binder, let them know this is the location of where you'll find our tax returns. You know, everything's in a nice filing cabinet somewhere and you've got everything labeled appropriately. You know, the deed to the house is here, the life insurance policies are here, the bank statements are here. It's all in one nice, easy place to find. And then just let your trustee know where to find all that information along with your estate planning binder and the other information that I just went through. But hopefully that helps. And I promise you, if you do those things, it's gonna make life a lot easier for those that are left behind, taking care of everything after you do become incapacitated or pass away. Any questions on any of that stuff? If you have a question, you can just type it in to the comment section and we'd be happy to address that. If there are no questions, then we'll end. Oh, that's right. Lisa's reminding me that we have a drawing. So we're going to do our drawing for our gift basket. And it looks like Mr. Scaff, you're a lucky winner for our gift basket. So Elisa will contact you and she'll coordinate a time and a way to get that gift basket to you. And congratulations on the gift basket. Hopefully you like it. And hopefully this is beneficial to all of you that joined us today. If you have additional questions or comments, you know how to reach us. Give us a call, shoot us an email. Like I say, if you want to type in a question or even if you want to jump on and ask a question, happy to answer any questions right now.
David, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Hi, this is Kim.
Hi, Kim.
So we all four of our parents reached their expiration date, so to speak, at pretty much the same time. And we found and they were divorced, both sets of parents. So we found ourselves needing to liquidate 4 estates at the same time that we were having to do all of the work of all those things you just outlined, you know, looking at their binders, ending their subscriptions, etc. We had all their household goods to deal with. So I'm just wondering if with your clients, people have, you know, and it was easier. Some of them were already near the end and had almost liquidated everything. And they knew that. Some had, it was more sudden and there was a whole household of stuff to deal with. So I'm just wondering if your clients are, you know, planning for both. Do you just say, hey, just get rid of it, call an estate sale company and feel free to sell it, or just exactly what the approach is that most people are taking with that when they, you know, when we're like, we have 2 residences that we're going to have to probably, you know, deal with.
Yeah, so I think that I'm going to rephrase the question. The question really that you have, Kim, is more about the personal property, the contents
Yes.
inside the home, the jewelry, the artwork, the furniture, the TV, the couches, the clothes,
stuff.
all that. And what do we do with that stuff, and how do we deal with it when death occurs, right?
Yep.
There's no, this is how you do it way. There's lots of different ways. To start off with, inside your binder, in the back of your book, there's a distribution of personal property list. That's the first place that we always look to see, you know, did our clients list, I want the Rolex watch to go to Johnny, I want the tools to go to Dave or whoever. Most of my clients, to be honest with you, don't ever fill that out, even though I tell them over and over again, it's important you fill that out and put that information down. But most clients, they just don't do it. But that's the first place we look, because if you have listed that stuff in there, that's where that stuff has to go. Okay, so if we list the Rolex watch goes to Johnny and clients die, then the Rolex watch goes to Johnny. Most clients, like I say, don't fill that out. So then what we tell the trustee is, if there's no list that tells you, trustee, where you're supposed to, who's supposed to get any of those things, then it's your job to inventory everything in the house. You can hire somebody that will come in and do it, an estate salesperson, and then sell what can be sold and donate the rest to Goodwill or some other place. I often tell clients, you know, if everybody gets along and all the kids get along and they're not going to argue or fight over stuff, then let the kids come in the house and say, I want this, I want that. And as long as everybody gets along, that's fine. And then after the kids have had the opportunity to pick out what they want, then do an estate sale or donate the rest to charity.
Okay, that helps. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then just David Bruce here, just a quick follow-up on Kim's question.
Sure.
This is specific to firearms. Do we have to do anything special? Do we just list it on the same sheet?
Good question. So the question is about firearms and how do we deal with firearms. The firearms that you have to be super careful with are called class 3 firearms. Okay, so if it is a class 3 firearm, you have to be very, very careful with those. You can't just you can't put those on a list and give them to somebody. They have to go to the person's registered to receive them. So we're talking, you know, sawed-off shotguns, weapons of mass destruction, machine guns, things like that. If they're not a class 3 firearm, you know, it's a handgun, it's a hunting rifle, something like that, you can put that on that list and say, I want my hunting rifle to go to Johnny. And then the hunting rifle can go to Johnny by way of the list that you've made. Same thing though, it's, you know, if nobody wants the firearms, then the estate salespeople deal with firearms all the time, and they'll come in, they'll inventory the assets, and they'll sell the firearms. One of the things that is worth a lot right now is ammunition, as you might know. So that can be worth pretty good money if we have lots of ammunition sitting inside the house. But we want to make sure that the people that come in the house and inventory and do the estate sale are familiar with those kinds of things. Sometimes we have clients that have antiques, antique automobiles, or artwork, or coin collections, or stamp collections, or sports memorabilia things, and we should need to make sure we're hiring the right people to come into the house that can inventory those things and dispose of them in the right way.
Perfect. Thank you, David.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? All right, well, hopefully this was helpful to everybody. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.